Good evening. This is the San Benito CISD regular board meeting. It's Tuesday, April 11th, 2017, and it is exactly 6:30 p.m. Agenda item number 1, I call this meeting to order. We do have an established quorum. Agenda item number 2 is roll call. Mr. Medrano? Mr. Vargas?
Here.
Mr. Mendez?
Here.
Mr. Padilla?
Here.
Mr. Leal?
Here.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Here, ma'am.
Dr. Vega?
Here.
And Mr. Torres. Agenda item number 3 and agenda item number 4 is the Pledge of Allegiance to the United States and Texas flags and our invocation. And at this time, I'll turn it over to Mr. Vargas.
Thank you, Madam President. We have two wonderful students representing us today from Judge Oscar de la Fuente Elementary. First, we have Mr. Kevin Martinez. Mr. Kevin Alfonso Martinez is 11 years old and a fifth grader at Judge Oscar de la Fuente Elementary. He is the son of Adrian and Claudia Martinez. Kevin has two older brothers as well, Jesus Alberto, who attends Veterans Memorial Academy, and Luis Adrian, who attends San Benito High School. Kevin recently participated in the Texas Heritage Celebration Art Show, where he earned first place in the fifth grade category and was also the recipient of the Sweepstakes Award as overall top art project. Kevin is a member of the St. Benedict's Catholic Church. He is a good student who has passed all STAR tests in third and fourth grade and is extremely confident that he passed both his math and reading STAR tests during this year's March administration. Kevin's hobbies include reading books about insects and animals. He likes to play outside with his brothers and his friends. He also enjoys playing video games on his Xbox. He plans to attend Sam Houston State University, which boasts one of the best criminology programs in the country, and aspires to become a Border Patrol agent. Kevin would like to thank the school board members, Dr. Vega, and Judge Oscar de la Fuente Elementary staff for affording him the opportunity to recite the Pledge of Allegiance at this board meeting. Thank you, Kevin. Secondly, we have Solani Hasso. Ms. Solani Hasso is 10 years old and also a fifth grade student at Judge Oscar de la Fuente Elementary. She is the daughter of Ms. Daisy Hasso. Solani has a younger brother, Saul, who is 18 months old. She is an honor roll student who has passed all her STAR tests in the third and fourth grade as well, and she is extremely confident, too, that she has passed her math and reading STAR test during the March administration. She has earned level 3 advanced academic performance on all of her STAR tests. She participates in the school choir, the chess team, the dance team, and is a member of the student council. She enjoys attending the Palm Valley Gymnastics and Dance, where she is a level 5 dancer in ballet, jazz, and tap. Her hobbies also include reading, singing, dancing, and playing with her brother. Her goal for the 2016-2017 school year is to earn a Principal's Award recognition, which is all 90s and above from first grade through the fifth grade, and also learn level 3 advanced academic performance for reading, math, and science on the STAR. She aspires to attend the Culinary Institute of America in New York and become a world-renowned chef. She would like to thank also the school board members, Dr. Vega, and Judge Oscar de la Fuente Elementary staff for affording her the opportunity to serve the Lord in reading the invocation at this board meeting. So we'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Will everyone please bow their heads? Dear Lord, we thank you for the many blessings you have given us. You have given us the gift of life and our health and well-being. At this time, dear Lord, we ask that you bless our board members and Dr. Vega abundantly and give them wisdom, guidance, courage, and strength. Be with them in all their deliberations and help them make wise decisions for the good of all those who have placed their trust and confidence in their leadership. We ask that you help them share their individual and collective gifts with our schools and community and give of themselves in ways that make a difference in our families, in our students, in our schools, and in our city. For all this, we give thanks. Father, in your name we pray. Amen.
If Kevin and Solani can come forward for their certificates, we'd like to give them a round of applause. And of course, most importantly, the parents of Kevin and Solani, if y'all can stand up and be recognized. And last, but certainly not least, Mr. Ron Diaz, the principal at Judge Oscar de la Fuente Elementary. Thank you.
Agenda item number 5 is special recognitions, and at this time, I'll turn it over to Ms. Longoria.
Good evening. We have several students joining us before the board to earn special recognition. And we thank you as a board for allowing us to bring these students before you so that they can get the proper recognition that they so deserve. We start off with a group from the Rio Grande Valley Livestock Show, and these are students that participated in the Sale of Champions. And we do need some board members to do the presentations. Mr. Hector Leal, I believe, is stepping forward to do the presentations of the special recognition certificates. And also Mr. Arnold Padilla will assist. So we have several students from throughout our district. And the first one on the list is Angel Diaz. And Angel participated in the Rio Grande Valley Livestock Show Sale of Champions with a lamb. And he also got first place in the medium weight with his goat project. Angel is from San Benito High School. I don't know if Angel was able to make it. No, he was not able to make it. Now, keep in mind, a lot of our students do take part in extracurricular activities, and that's the reason you don't see them here a lot of the times, because they have other commitments. Also on the list is Julissa Zuniga, first place with the hog project that she had, also a student at San Benito High School. Leroy Garcia is another student from San Benito High School that placed first with the hog project. And then we move to VMA, Tabitha de la Fuente, first place winner with the hog project. And we have one student from La Paloma Elementary, Aiden Villarreal, placed second with rabbits. And in this district, students as young as third grade are able to take part in our junior FFA program, and that's how they are able to compete. The next student on the list is from San Benito High School. Elizabeth Ramirez placed second with her lamb project. And then we have a few more students that also did well at the Sale of Champions. We have one student from La Encantada Elementary, Evelyn Leos, and she placed second with the lamb project. Melanie Trevino, third grader at Ed Downs Elementary, placed third with her lamb project. And Haley Rios, third place with the lamb from San Benito High School. We also have Dulce Garcia placed third with a hog, and also from San Benito High School. I also want to acknowledge the sponsors at this time, George Guerra, Eddie Garcia, and Romana Cantu. And we would also like to recognize the principals of the various campuses. The principals are in the audience, showing their support for their students here this evening. Also, I'd like to recognize the parents of these students. Parents, if y'all are in the audience, please stand and be recognized at this time. And I do have a message that Mr. Garcia and the sponsors would like to share with us. Raising and exhibiting a livestock project is not only instructional, but also serves as an excellent teaching tool to illustrate livestock production techniques and animal science principles. Participating in a livestock project promotes sound livestock projects. To be successful, families need to start by learning the essentials. Some of these areas include animal health, nutrition, genetics of livestock, and selection process. From here, students will become lifelong learners of agriculture, along with leadership and responsibility skills. Mr. Eddie Garcia, along with the students and parents of the San Benito FFA, are very thankful for their continued support the San Benito CISD School Board continues to extend to these programs. In addition, the FFA also would like to thank Mr. Hector Rendon, CTE Director, Mr. Gilbert Galvan, VMA Principal, and Mr. Henry Sanchez, San Benito High School Principal, for all of their support during the year. Again, it was a very productive year for the San Benito FFA, and it's a real long-standing tradition here that our students are really involved with their FFA projects. So congratulations to all the sponsors and all the students, and thank you all for representing us well at the Rio Grande Valley Livestock Show in Mercedes. Congratulations. Thank you all so much. We heard from our livestock show winners. Next, we call on a group of students from San Benito High School, and these are the Business Professionals of America. These are students that went to compete at the Chapter 8 regional competition, and they advanced to state competition in Dallas recently. And please help me welcome these students. They did really well. Please help me welcome Eduardo Abrego. Placed fourth as a state qualifier and integrated office application. Eduardo is a junior at San Benito High School. Our next award recipient is Jose M. Galvan, placed first in the global marketing team and also National Ambassador Award recipient. And I don't think Jose was able to make it out here tonight. Damian M. Garcia, first in global marketing team and also a National Ambassador Award recipient. And these are students from San Benito High School. Lindsay Gore is a state qualifier that placed third and medical office procedures. Florestela Limas, a senior at San Benito High School, placed first with a global marketing team and also National Ambassador Award. We have another group of students that are joining them. We have Jacob Sauceda, a junior at San Benito High School. He is a state qualifier that placed fourth in the integrated office applications. And we have Janet Rasmussen, state qualifier, second place in digital publishing, and she is a sophomore. Irma Perez is a sponsor, and Ms. Perez is joining them this evening. So congratulations to them. And I have a little note on here that students who earned the Ambassador Awards will be honored in May when they attend the National Leadership Conference in Orlando, Florida. So that's coming up pretty soon. So congratulations to all these students on their fine accomplishments, and also to Ms. Perez. Thank you so much, and we wish y'all the best of luck when y'all go in May for the Ambassador Awards. And at this time, we'd like to recognize the parents, please. If y'all are in the audience, please stand and be recognized. Thank you so much, and congratulations. We have some students also with another group instructed by Ms. Dolores de la Fuente. And I'm not sure if Ms. de la Fuente was able to make it. I know she has had a family member that has been ill, but some of her students are here this evening. And these are students from San Benito High School that went to compete in the Teach for Tomorrow Summit state competition, awarded at state 100% score on her ELF test, and placed in the top 5% for her essay on how the private lives of teachers are held to a higher standard. And please help me welcome Amy Lopez. She's here. And this took place at the Teach for Tomorrow State Summit, February the 16th through the 19th at the University of Texas in Arlington. We also have Jaylene Contreras, and this is a group that advanced to the state by scoring the top 10%, which is the highest, taking the Educational Fundamentals Leadership Test. Jaylene Contreras is one of those award recipients. Josie Barrett is another. Sally Mendoza, Yesenia Saucedo, and Manuel Zapata. Okay. And we have one more group that work with Ms. De La Fuente. We have Bianca Moreno from San Benito High School and Kimberly Coronado, also from San Benito High School. And this is the team that advanced to state with their first place visual board on their Ready, Set, Teach field site experience. And I think we have another student. I don't. Hold on just a minute. Sorry about that. I'm sorry, Miss, what was your name? Narissa Garza. Okay, yes, we have Narissa Garza. She is here with this group, and she is from San Benito High School. So congratulations. And Narissa is with the team that advanced to state with their first place bulletin board presentation, Superheroes Inspiring Children Who Are Bullied. So congratulations. And Ms. De La Fuente was able to make it out here tonight. Congratulations to all of our award winners on a job well done. And parents, if y'all are in the audience, please stand and be recognized at this time. Ms. De La Fuente, thank you for everything that you do for our students. Thank you. Congratulations. And that concludes the special recognition.
Thank you, Ms. Longoria.
Yes, ma'am.
Agenda item number 6 is the superintendent's report, and at this time, I'll turn it over to Dr. Vega.
Thank you, Madam President, Board of Trustees, Legal Counsel. Once again, considering that it is our regular board meeting, as mentioned during the superintendent's update, I'd like to provide y'all with an update of a component of the strategic plan. And so this month, we will be hearing from the committee of the the P20 component of our strategic plan. So at this time, I'm going to ask Mr. Trevino, Executive Director for Leadership and Performance, to come forward.
Good evening, Dr. Vega, Madam President, members of the board. It's a pleasure to be here before you this evening to give you an update on the P20 committee and the things that we've been doing up to this point. You have before you a copy of the PowerPoint presentation that's also being illustrated there for the community. And I'd like to start with priority one. There are 5 priorities for P20. And the first one deals with full-day pre-kindergarten program for the 2016-17 school year for all age-appropriate students. And in it, we are to provide a curriculum that is directly aligned to the pre-kindergarten, kindergarten TEKS, which includes social emotional development skills in 10 domains. As you know, we do have 12 elementary schools that offer full-day pre-kindergarten this year. 7 campuses, including Frank Roberts, Landrum, Fred Booth, La Paloma, La Encantada, Rangerville, and Sullivan, offer full-day pre-K through a partnership with the Niños and Head Start Corporation. 5 campuses, Dr. Cash Leal, Judge Oscar de la Fuente, Ed Downs, and Dr. Garza, offer full-day pre-K with San Benito CISD. Our pre-K thematic units, they are delivered through the instruction of the Opening World of Learning, or OWL curriculum district-wide. The curriculum does target the 10 domains of social, emotional, language, alliteration, writing and reading, emergent literacy, mathematics, social studies, science, fine arts, physical development, and technology, just as our goal stipulates. Turning the page, we are also, at this point, we have delivered or instructed our students with the beginning of the year and middle of the year circle assessment for all pre-K students. 5 days of the Children Learning Institute have been completed with all pre-K teachers. 5 TTT sessions targeting pre-K curriculum trained by the pre-K coordinator Monica Munoz and other pre-K teachers have also been completed. House Bill 4 pre-K grant family engagement plan has also been posted on the San Benito CISD website. Our iPad distribution for integrated core student learning centers for all campuses was distributed in March of 2017. Pre-registration for full-day pre-kindergarten for next school year occurred just this last week. This is 1 month earlier than traditionally held, and as of today, we have pre-registered 43% of our current pre-K enrollment for the incoming school year. So I really want to give kudos to Ms. Munoz and Ms. Cruz for doing a fantastic job of getting that out there. And with this process, we had a lot of collaboration. Dr. Vega was heavily involved with approving our posters and giving us ideas about how to get that out there. And our shop here in our district just did a fantastic job with our posters. We got a lot of word out. So at this point, we're nearly at 50% of what we already have this current year. Parental engagement activities have been happening throughout the year. We have math and literacy hands-on activities that have occurred in November, arts and crafts in December. Our 100th day school celebration with the parent and student breakfast with hands-on activities occurred in February. Also, we had a technology night for parents with the CLI for progress monitoring. And we also had a Celebrate Texas Public Schools Week, spring parent-child picnic with a book reading. All students received a book to read at home with their parents to promote literacy in the home. In addition, this last week, we continued to promote literacy by having a local author visit all 12 schools with a book reading and learning experience, and the parents were also invited. And our local author went through our schools here. He graduated from San Benito High School and attended elementary school at La Encantada. He's written a few books, and he shared one of them, and each student went home with one of those books. We've also had, starting March 29th and throughout May, we will be having our spring field trips where the children will be going to the Brownsville Children's Museum for all campuses to be exposed to careers in real-world exploration. Our next steps for priority 1 will be to have our end-of-year progress monitoring, which is to occur at the end of this month and the first week of May. Our computers, which will be facilitating parent access to CLI Engage, where they can check their child's progress, are going to be installed in each elementary campus in the pre-K classrooms. And it will also be inclusive of parents being able to open up parent emails and to promote adult literacy with technology. We have another TTT coming up on April 27th to promote communication strategies. Our second round of pre-K registration will occur the first week of May, where we hope to get not only at 100% of what we have this year, but beyond that. And then we're going to have our end-of-year celebration where the students are going to leave with a summer learning backpack filled with manipulatives and materials for them to work with their parents over the summer to prevent that summer slide. Moving on to priority 2. This one deals
I
with
have a
the
quick
creation.
question.
Oh, yes, sir, I'm sorry.
On priority 1,
Yes.
What plan do we have in place to ensure that there's full matriculation from pre-K to the next grade level, especially given that that's one of our priorities as a district to maintain the students we currently have?
That's a very good question. As a matter of fact, Dr. Vega was just speaking with me about that this afternoon with Ms. Cruz and with Ms. Munoz. So we do have a plan to start getting our kindergarten parents uploaded the same way we did with our incoming pre-K. We want to do the same thing by getting some special messaging out. Yes, I have it actually right here. Dr. Vega also wanted us to create a, I just happen to have, no, you should see what I have on this side. No, I was just kidding. But actually, one of the things Dr. Vega really has been promoting and has been emphasizing with all of the departments in the school district is communication. So he did ask us to put together a trifold informational brochure for our pre-K program. And we did that. And in it, we, of course, have really nice, fun pictures of kids that are involved in it. And we have a Q&A at the back for frequently asked questions. So this gives parents and the community a lot of information all in one little trifold that are frequently asked throughout the community. So we plan on doing something similar like this for our kinder parents, and that's underway at this point.
Just to follow up, so yes, based on what Mr. Trevino said, and that was a very good question. I did share this information, and in fact, I was at an elementary campus today. I also spoke to the principal and said the exact same thing. We need to make sure that we are actively recruiting, and I'm even going to say wooing our families to ensure that they're not choosing other options. So we will be putting something together by meeting with the rest of the principals as well. When I spoke to the one principal, she said, hey, I also spoke to another principal, and this principal does a really cool thing. So they're talking among themselves as to what we can do to ensure that we're keeping our kids from pre-K to kindergarten.
And that's actually one of the reasons why we give them that summer reading pack, because this is your backpack for the summer. We'll see you next year, that type of thing, so we can keep them engaged in learning throughout the summer. Yes, sir. So going on to priority 2, this is where we are trying to develop branding for our district with regard to the P20 initiative. And in this case, we are trying to create a tagline and a logo to be used on all district publications to promote our P20 initiative. This has been going on throughout the year. I'll kind of catch you up here real quickly. In January, after having talked about this with our P20 committee, I met with Mr. Roland Garcia, the marketing class instructor at San Benito High School, and he has some students that have been working with marketing projects throughout the year. So we thought it would be fantastic if we had one of our own students develop our P20 logo so that it would be, grown and created right here in our school system. So we did that. We got him the information that the committee wanted to convey. In March, I met with him there in his classroom there at San Benito High School, and I started to look at what the projects the kids had. Basically, there were 5 students who were really interested in it. And what was great about this is that those students weren't even any longer in his marketing class, so they were coming in after school on their own time to work on these marketing pieces. So we looked at a rubric and made sure that those P20 designs were in line with that rubric so that when the committee were able to view them, it would match up to what we were looking for. So in March, we sent out an invitation once we had everything ready. And just this last week, on April 6th, we met at San Benito High School on Thursday evening. The students did their presentation before the committee and showed their logo and tagline. And at this point, for next steps, our committee decided that there were 2 of the 5 that kind of bubbled up to the top as being the ones they were really, really interested in. As part of the committee recommendation, I've already spoken to Ms. Celia Longoria, and her team is going to meet with these 2 students to give them some pointers on how they can best revise what they did in order so that whenever it's reduced to the size of a letterhead, that it wouldn't lose, its message. So coloring of letters, things like that. So Ms. Longoria's team is going to meet with them, and they're going to refine it, and then we're going to meet with the committee again on May 4th to choose the final tagline and logo. Priority 3 deals with generating a needs assessment for post-secondary readiness. There are 2 components here. One of them is for parents and one of them is for students. So picking up in March, you've already been reported out as up to November, but in March what we did was we sat and we created these parent and student surveys that were first viewed by Dr. Vega, and he gave them the thumbs up. And I think he added a couple of questions to the student survey. We want to know what school they're coming from, and we want to know what grade they're in. So these are 8th through 12th grade students, so when the surveys came back, we would know which grade levels had the highest participation. So we added those, and I gave them to Ms. Lee Peña over in technology, and she converted them to SurveyMonkey. On the next page, you see what it looked like on our district website. The students, all they had to do was go to the For Students tab, and at the very top was a big purple box called Student Survey. We ran this last week also, the 6th through the 7th for our 8th through 12th grade students, and there you see the participation rates. 77% of all of our 8th through 12th grade students did complete the survey. 100% of our 8th grade students at all 3 middle schools completed it. I think what facilitated that was our career explorations class. They were able to do that there. And then we had 84% of our 9th graders complete it at VMA, 61% of 10th graders, 56% of 11th, and 58% of 12th graders, for a total of 77% overall. And if you turn the next page, I have the results there for you. And what I did was any question that received over 50%, that's the one I put there. So on questions 3, for example, 85% agreed with this statement. I'm not afraid to ask repeated questions about the classes I need to take to prepare for my college and career choices. So by that, it also shows that 15% disagreed with that question, with that statement. But that's actually a very good turnout. 85% agree that I can ask questions and ask them repeatedly. I feel comfortable enough to do that. Question 4, by the way, question 1 and 2 were, what school are you at and what grade are you in? Question 4, 66% agreed with, I know where to go for help to learn more about college. Question 5, 70% disagreed with, I have visited several colleges and I can describe the qualities I'm looking for in a college. So that is very telling to us as a committee and as a district that we need to expose our students more to higher ed universities and so they can start seeing themselves there. Okay, so question 6 was 64% agreed with, I feel like I have a good understanding of what is required in college classes. 67% disagree with, I know how to apply for admission to college. Now I want to just kind of add this in there, realizing that a whole big chunk of these students are 8th graders. So they haven't yet gotten to that point where they're being advised on how to apply for college, but still this gives us an indication. Question 8 is 53% disagree with, I know about the admission test required for college applicants. 72% disagree with, I know how to apply for financial aid and student loans. 81% agree with, I know what I want to study in college, and I think that's also very telling for what we're doing with Naviance. Naviance has been exposing students to the 16 USDE career clusters, and so they are starting to get a good idea of what they want to be later on in life. So you can see there where even though 8th graders participated, they're already getting a good idea of what they want to study later on in life. Question 11 is 67% agree with, I have a backup plan in place in case the field I choose doesn't work out. And I really love the response for question 12. 97% of our students agree that my family supports my decision to go to college. And I think that's really important when these students are feeling, all of our 8th through 12th grade students apparently feel that their family supports them going to college. I think that's really awesome.
Mr. Driven, I have a quick question.
Yes, sir.
Did we or will we measure how many of our students will be first-generation college students or college graduates? Because, I mean, I think it's a fair assumption can be made that those families that have not experienced the college culture will need more assistance and more supports relative to other students who will be the 3rd or their 4th in their families.
Right, and that is a very, very good comment. I've heard lots of good stories. Just the other night, Dr. Vega and I attended the Career and Technology Ed Honor Society induction, and there we heard some fantastic stories about how some of our students are the very first students that are going to be going to college. I don't know that we have an actual measure in place to calculate that, but I think that it's something we should do. Now, one of the things that as we build our Naviance, and that's actually going on to the next priority, but as we build Naviance, we're going to be able to gather more of that information through those surveys that we're doing with students. And I think, and I'm not sure, I would have to check into it, but that may actually be part of the survey that the 8th graders took. And so I will check into that for you, sir. Next steps with regarding priority 3 are to send out the parent post-secondary readiness survey. And that's going to be solicited during the week of April 18th through the 28th. And that is 1 week prior to our parent conference that we're having here in San Benito, and then the week after. That way we can really get as many parents involved as possible. We're going to put a banner on our San Benito website, and then Dr. Vega is going to send out a message like he did for the pre-K pre-registration to all the parents in the district to participate in that survey in both Spanish and English.
Comment.
Yes.
Just a suggestion, since we are gonna have a parent conference, it would be, just a suggestion that you have a place, a room where parents, you have computers there and they can actually go in there and, take the survey.
Absolutely. We can do that. Absolutely.
Great.
That's not a problem. Thank you for that suggestion. We can make that happen. Also, I did want to point out that these questions that we have in these surveys, what we did was we gathered them from a plethora of surveys all the way out there, Gear Up, things like that, and committee did choose them. On the 19th, we're going to have an analysis of our student and parent post-secondary readiness surveys, and then on June, we should have our complete post-secondary needs assessment report to you. For priority 4, this deals with our career and college readiness skills. So as part of our goal, we wanted to make sure that all San Benito CISD teachers are familiar with the TEA college and career readiness standards and embed them into lessons and lesson plans. This has been several steps that have gone underway to make this happen. And the very first one was to use one of our teachers training teachers session to expose all the teachers to the college and career readiness standards all the way throughout our district. So we did that by first training the principals on November 14th, and then we did also have on December 6th, 2016, we had our CCRS training at the TTT for all of our pre-K through 12th grade teachers, and that was done by our RTI teachers and deans. And then finally, after that, we also had the PowerPoint shared with the teachers during the PLCs before we left for Christmas. The next steps are this summer, you may have already heard from the Curriculum Instruction Department, we are having a curriculum writing project this summer. And now that we have our lesson plan archive and we have our curriculum CCRS embedded in there, we plan on continue to embed that into our project for next school year. Priority 5 of 5. We have our middle school and high school guidance in college career explorations supported by Naviance. In here, our middle school and high school students are provided the career readiness tool. We've had workshops spanning from this past summer. We generated a timeline to roll out the curriculum and the management system to students. Student logins were distributed, and there at the bottom, you see that our 8th grade students, that career explorations course has really been a godsend for our district to really give our students a springboard into their college and career choices. You can see there that 93% BC, 90% of Miller, and 96% of Riverside students have completed their career explorations survey. And that leads into the following part. Our Strengths Explorer survey for 8th graders, 548 have been completed. Our Resume Builder, 297 have been created by seniors. We have implemented the lessons through Naviance in 6th through 12th grades. 30,384 student logins into Naviance from September 5th to April 5th. 875 college applications have been submitted by seniors as of April 5th via Naviance. And we also have the parent login, campus links, and instructions posted on the district website. Next steps. During our parent conference on April 22nd, we will be having 4 sessions concerning accessing Naviance Family Connection, and in order to increase the visits to Naviance by our parents. In May of 2017, seniors are going to complete their graduation survey. And I'm thinking about that, sir. Maybe that survey should have that question you're thinking about with regards to are they a first-generation college students. So we'll look at that. In summer of 2017, we are going to be updating our Naviance scope and sequence to include more tasks for juniors and seniors, such as registering for SAT, ACT, TSI, and completing their FAFSA. In August of 2017, Naviance tracking and reporting session for high school counselors, senior seminar teachers, and college and career department will take place. Do I have any questions from the board?
I have one.
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Trevino. I noticed that you had 30,384 student logins. Can you break it down by grade level, starting at the 9th grade, 10th and 11th and 12th, or do you not have, or do you have that information?
No, we can do that.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That'll give us a sense of how many students are actually completing the application and items from Naviance.
Sure,
Also,
absolutely.
perhaps if, in the next meeting, if you could share a completed product of what Naviance would produce, like, I'm assuming that it's a portfolio, correct? So
Yes.
just to kind of have a sample, so the board members can actually see.
So
what
for
the-
all the components like resume,
Right.
surveys, applications to college, all the different, the
Right.
lessons that it provides.
Right, more like, if you have a student that has completed the whole process.
Okay.
And is ready to graduate and exiting college, so what are they taking with them?
Okay.
That'll give us a sense of what Naviance is about.
Okay, and one of the things while you're talking about that, one of the great things to point out is that the students, when they leave San Benito CISD, they continue their ability to log into Naviance and continue to utilize everything that they have put in there for their colleges.
So, Board, I definitely want to thank Mr. Trevino as well as the committee. As you can see, they've worked really hard, and this is another example of us moving forward as a district with our roadmap. One thing I do want to say about the P20, the reason that this is so critical for us as a district is this literally cuts through every aspect of what we do. And what I mean by that is we receive students in pre-K, okay? And we obviously, our goal is to graduate them. And so when you think about this strand of working, whether it's elementary, middle, and high school, it's all about preparing them for their lives once they leave us and graduate so that they're career ready, college ready, military ready. So it's our goal that no matter what students choose to do, their options are not limited because we did not prepare them. So that's what this represents. And then the other thing is, and it was mentioned, and I just want to reiterate this, it was mentioned here, but also, as you know, we have our big parent conference, which is on Saturday, April 22nd, and this is very exciting. And based on one of the questions that you asked, Ms. Cruz, and then you just heard, we're actually having a whole session. One of the major breakout sessions is dedicated to Naviance, so we're very excited about that. Continuing with the superintendent's report, at this time, we will now hear from Ms. Rendon, and she will share what our financials look like for this past month.
Good evening, Madam President, Dr. Vega, members of the board. Tonight, we're doing the financials, starting off with the cash balances for the month ending March 2017. Our cash balances between liquid and investments, total balance was $48,596.67. Following to the student activity accounts, our balances ending March 31st, 2017 is $462,317.50. We did include the February, just for comparison, from the prior month, so it has been averaging about $400,000 every month. The following pages are the owners of those accounts, starting off with the campus accounts and following with the student activity accounts. Going into the comparison of the revenue to the budget. Under the general operating funds, total general funds, we have realized revenue of $72,655,573.87 of the approved anticipated revenue of $112,603,894. So we have realized 65.20% of the revenue. Under our special revenue funds, we have realized $5,049,011.43. Anticipated revenue is $15,526,607.15. We have realized 32.52%. Under our interest and sinking fund, we have realized $3,098,267. Anticipated was $3,513,767. We have realized 88.18%. Overall, grant revenue of $79,552,451.45 is 60.07% of the anticipated revenue. Going forward is a comparison of the expenditures and encumbrances to the budget. Expenditures year to date or through March 31st, $54,190,416.59. Total under the general revenue operating funds is $108,579,602. We have spent 49.91% of the approved budget. For the special revenue, expenditures year to date, $6,337,558.72. Our budget is $16,300,862.15. We have spent 38.88%. Under our debt service funds, we've spent $6,638,892.39. We anticipate spending $7,817,181. We've spent 84.93%. Following into the tax collection report for the month ending of March 31st, total taxes collected through that date is $11,101,544.25. Our tax levy is $12,287,120.28. We have collected 89.50% of our tax levy. And then we're following into the check payments for the month ending of March. We wrote $4,194,434.58 worth of checks. Anybody has any questions? Thank you.
That concludes the superintendent's update.
Thank you, Dr. Vega. Agenda item number 7 is public comment, and we do have one public comment. The persons wishing to address the Board of Trustees shall register with the presiding officer or designee no later than 5 minutes before the announced time of the school board meeting. Shall state their full name, shall state what organization or group, if any, is being represented, shall state the topic they wish to address before the Board of Trustees, shall refrain from commenting directly to any individual school district employee or public official by name, but may instead refer to a specific employment area, job title, or the Board of Trustees as a whole, and shall refrain from attacks on individuals. The persons wishing to address the Board of Trustees shall do so in accordance with the following San Benito CISD Board Policy, BED, Board Meetings, Public Participation Guidelines. The speaker will be allowed 5 minutes to give his or her presentation. Delegations of more than 5 persons shall appoint 1 person to present their views before the Board of Trustees. Presentation shall be informative and shall pertain to school-related issues. Any attack on any individual shall be considered disruption of the meeting. The Board of Trustees shall not deliberate or decide regarding any subject that is not included on the agenda posted with notice of the meeting. And at this time, Mr. Montes, would you please come forward?
Ms. Cruz, Dr. Vega, honorable members of the board. This is the first time I'm here, not as an employee, but as a concerned citizen, so I'm a little nervous. I'm here to express my concern about chiller replacement at Dr. Garza. I know you plan to replace 2 chillers. One is a Dr. Cash, and that one is badly needed. It's in bad shape and needs to be replaced. But the one at Dr. Garza, I'm concerned about it because that chiller is less than 10 years old. The life of a chiller like that one, when it's properly maintained, is between 15 and 20 years. And that chiller, I know, at least for 9 years, is being maintained properly. Because every year there's a inspection from one end to the other, and then every 3 months you pull a maintenance inspection that includes washing the condenser coils. Not with chemicals, but just plain water. The chiller needs to be replaced because of the condition of the condenser coils. And there's only 2 reasons for the condenser coils to go bad. One is not having the proper coating for this area, and the other one is a product defect. And the chiller was purchased with coating on the condenser coils. So I think that the company that sold the chiller, or the equipment salesman, needs to come over, look at the condenser coils, and tell you why the chiller needs to be replaced. Why are the coils bad? I understand they came over and say you need to replace the chiller, but something's wrong with those coils if they're only 10 years old. So that company should be given 2 options. One is to either do something about the condenser coils, which is standing behind their product, or give you a large discount on the new chiller. Purchasing a new chiller is better because it's more efficient, and in the long run it's going to conserve energy. But it's not only the price of the chiller, because you're going to spend between $20,000 and $25,000 replacing it, even if you do it in-house, because you still have to hire a pipe fitter welder with experience to connect the chiller. Then you got to bring in a company for the proper installation of the piping, a controls contractor to hook up the new controls, electrical supplies and parts to hook up the new chiller. So you're talking just a little bit under $100,000. So if you're going to spend $100,000, maybe you can spend a little bit less and save the taxpayers a little money by making the company accountable. And my suggestion would be, as a concerned citizen, would be to maybe postpone the purchase of the chiller until they come up with the right answer. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be in front of you.
Thank you, Mr. Montes. Item number 8 is consent agenda. In order to promote efficient meetings, the board may act upon more than one item by a single vote through the use of consent agenda. Consent items placed on the agenda should be marked with an asterisk. Consent items are items for which no board discussion is anticipated and for which the superintendent recommends approval. Prior to the time which approval of consent agenda is had, at the request of any member of the Board of Trustees, any item on the consent agenda shall be removed and given individual consideration. Agenda item number 9 is the actual action agenda under business and finance and administration. Item 1704A-1, approval of budget amendments for 2016-2017. Question? Consent. 1704A-2, request approval of replacing HVAC chiller at Dr. Garza Elementary with a 90-ton scroll. Oh, Dr. Cash, I'm sorry. Correction on that. 90-ton scroll chiller as per 5-year strategic plan. Item 17A43, request approval of replacing HVAC chiller at Dr. Garza Elementary with a 120-ton scroll chiller as per 5-year strategic plan. Okay. Item 1748-4, request approval of 2017-28 compensation plan. Question? Under administration, item 17048-5, discussion and possible action to appoint a representative for Cameron Appraisal District's Board of Directors. Question? Okay. Okay. Item 1704A-6, request approval of textbook adoption for language other than English and career technology education. Question? Consent. Item 1704A-7, request approval of update 107. Question? Consent. Item 1704A-8, request for approval of board amendment minutes. Question? Consent. Do I have a motion to approve consent items?
So moved.
Okay. Motion by Mr. Gonzalez, second by Mr. Vargas. All those in favor? All those against? Motion passes. We return back to item 17048-2. Request approval for replacing HVAC chiller at Dr. Garza Elementary with a 90-ton scroll chiller as Dr. Cash. Correction again, as per 5-year strategic plan.
Well, maybe if we could, with your permission, could we take both 2 and 3? And based on some of the comments we just heard, would it be prudent for us to table these for the moment? Let's take and revisit these items, assure ourselves that we've covered every aspect as the concern was brought. Again, Mr. Montes was doing an excellent job of maintaining our systems for many, many years. And quite frankly, I think he holds our respect. And when an item like this is brought up by someone with the expertise, I tend to believe that maybe we should just at least hold off. It is a strategic plan issue. It's not necessarily an item that needs to be done immediately. But I think that some legitimate issues may have been brought up that maybe we should just revisit, and let's assure ourselves that things are being done correctly before we proceed. That would be the only thing I would ask.
Just a little comment there. I think Mr. Montes did mention that the chiller, Dr. Cash, does need to be replaced. So I don't think we should wait on that one, you know, and I think the concern was on the one at Dr. Garza, so with all due respect, I think we should pass the one on Dr. Cash, and then table the
Well,
one and.
If you lay that motion forward, I'll second it.
Yeah.
It's not a problem.
Well, I move that we approve the item 1704A-2, which will be the chiller at Dr. Cash.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Gonzalez, second by Mr. Padilla. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those against? Motion passes.
And I'd like to make a motion to table item 1704A3 until further review.
I'll second that.
Motion by Mr. Padilla, second by Mr. Yan. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those against? Motion passes. Item 17048-4, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Vega.
Thank you, Madam President. At this time, I will not be making a recommendation on the 2018 compensation plan, but the reason being is because the recommendation that I will be bringing forth to y'all will require an adjustment or an update to policy DED local. And so what I want to make sure is that we make that adjustment first. So what I will be doing is I will be making sure that that's addressed ASAP so that we can bring this back ASAP. So that is the only reason. I do know that everybody's in favor, but that's the only reason. I just want to make sure that the policy is addressed. So therefore, there'll be no action in regard to this agenda item at this time.
Well, I don't know, there's still two candidates. The one I'd like to recommend would be Mr. Ruben Montemayor. He is a retired supervisor with the Department of Human Services. But after he retired, he also went to work for the Cameron County Appraisal District for 8 years. And I think that he would be an asset to the board, you know, representing the board insofar as that goes.
I have a second nomination.
there's one motion for a nomination.
Yeah.
I think there's.
I nominate Sylvia Garcia. She's actually a real estate agent and has had experience in the real estate agency for quite a while. And I also believe that she is also a good asset for the community to make sure that we are reviewing our taxing entities correctly. So I also put that motion on the table.
There's been no motion,
No, it's just discussions. So, well, I move that we nominate Mr. Montemayor. Okay.
I have a motion by Mr. Gonzalez, second by Mr. Leal. All those in favor?
Aye.
Show of hands,
All those against? Okay, the motion passes. Agenda item number 10 is closed meeting, discussion under the authority of the Texas Government Code 5510-1.07, the purpose of the private consultation with the board's attorney on any subjects or matters authorized by law. 551.074 for the purpose of appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee, to hear complaints or charges against a public officer or employee. A, employment, resignation, and retirements. B, discussion and consideration to terminate probational contracts at the end of contract year 2017. Discussion and consideration to reemploy probational contract employees to include teachers, librarians, counselors, and administrators. D, discuss and consideration to renew term contract employees to include teachers, librarians, counselors, and administrators. E, discuss and consideration on voiding S.L. Longoria's a professional employee's term contract. F, discuss and consideration on proposed non-renewal of D.D. de la Rosa, a professional employee's term contract. We convene into closed session at exactly 7:32 p.m. We reconvene into open meeting at exactly 8:18 p.m. And I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Vega.
Thank you, Madam President. For item A, I recommend the employment resignations and retirements as discussed in executive session.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, motion by Mr. Mendez and second by Mr. Padilla. All those in favor? All those against? Okay, motion passes.
Okay. In terms of item B, I make no recommendation at this time,
Okay.
or make no
Item C.
recommendation.
Okay. Item C.
Item C, I recommend to reemploy all of the probationary contract employees to include teachers, librarians, counselors, and administrators.
Do I have a motion?
Move.
Okay, motion by Mr. Leal, second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Padilla. All those in favor? All those against? Motion passes.
For item D, I recommend to renew the term contract or the employees to include teachers, librarians, counselors, and administrators.
Second.
Okay, motion by Mr. Mendez and second by Mr. Leal. All those in favor? Aye. All those against? Motion passes.
Item E, I recommend to void the term contract of S. Longoria, a professional employee.
Motion by Mr. Padilla, second? Second by Mr. Mendez. All those in favor? All those against? Motion passes.
For item F, I make no recommendation at this time.
All right. Item number 11 is adjournment, and this meeting is adjourned at exactly 8:19 p.m.